Hello, and welcome to another edition of Facebook Daily Newscast. I am your patriot, Josh Harris. Sekori Russell, man of our town, couldn't be here today, but he'll be back Monday. Let's get right into it. Today is Friday, Freaky Friday indeed, December 11th, 2009. Top story today, Tiger Woods, of course. We got Jamie Grubbs, who was supposedly the first Mistress that came out and released the voicemail that her and Tiger had a relationship going on. She actually apologized to his wife, Elin Woods, for what she did and said that she feels really bad for her and that she shouldn't have done what she did and that it was a terrible thing and she's sorry for it. That takes a big person to do such a thing. And lots of people have been talking about how terrible it is, what a terrible thing that Tiger's done, but no one's taking into consideration the fact that it sucks bad enough for a woman to be cheated on, or any person to be cheated on, let alone for it to be in the public eye constantly. Every channel you turn to, it's on there. It's all over the internet. It makes it 10 times worse for someone to deal with something like that. So let's take into consideration of our feelings and stop giving the issue so much coverage and let them handle their personal affairs at home. So we're going to do that after I make these couple of points. First, lots of people are asking, how can Tiger Woods juggle so many women? Mistress count up to 11, 12. How can he deal with that many women? I'm going to tell you women out there a secret. Technology has made pimping really easy. So for those of you women out there who like to text message guys because it's convenient for you and you don't want to talk on the phone, especially you younger girls, I'm going to tell you, you're making it easier for him to mess around with other girls. He can text message 12 people at a time. He can text message 15 people at a time if he wants. So if you want to make sure that your guy's not out there messing with 11 other girls, don't text message him. Get on the phone with him, because then you know he's talking to you and he can't talk to anyone else when he's talking to you. Just a little tip. Trust me. I know. And also, you guys want to know who's winning in this whole situation? First, let me explain all these women who came forward. They snitched because they thought they would get their 15 seconds of fame or whatever. And they got their 15 seconds and then it was over and done with. But let me tell you who's winning in the situation. The woman who hasn't come forward and said a word. The one that Tiger Woods is on the phone with right now because he's so stressed and doesn't know what to do, and his wife left, and he's talking to her, this girl, about the situation because she's the only one that he can trust because she hasn't said a word about anything. So when his wife does leave him, that's the woman he's going to marry again, and she's going to get the next $80 million check because she stood by his side and could be trusted. All those other women that got their 15 seconds, and it was over and done. Sad, but true. Moving right along, there was a shootout in Times Square yesterday. Apparently 2 guys out hustling, selling some CDs. Police approach them and tell them, you can't do that, you need to stop. They just up strap, pull out not any strap, but a Tech 9 and start shooting at the police. The police officer shot one of the men dead. I'm not buying this story. I think there's more to it than that. Hopefully it's under investigation. I don't know too many people who just shoot the police because they told them they couldn't sell their CDs. Sad, but true. Moving right along, in New York also, we got the terrorist trial of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. It's being moved. He's the mastermind behind 9/11. Some of you may know about it, some of you may not know about it, but they're moving it. They're going to put him on trial in New York City and put him through a civilian trial. Why? I don't know. It's estimated this trial could take up to 5 years and use up to $1 billion tax dollars. $1 billion of your tax dollars to put a man on trial that has claimed he's professed to be the mastermind behind 9/11. Don't know if it's the best use of tax dollars. Something to think about. Sad, but true. Also, airplanes. Sell your phones on airplanes. There are people out there fighting right now so that we'll be able to use cell phones on airplanes. You may think you can't use cell phones on airplanes because it interfere with the signal of the plane. Turns out, it doesn't interfere at all. They just don't want you using them as a courtesy thing for the other passengers on the plane. So there's some people out there fighting for the right to be able to use cell phones on planes. Hopefully, me for one, I agree, and I hope we are able to use cell phones on planes soon because I would love to be able to talk on my phone when I'm on the plane. Moving right along, speaking of airplanes, and airplanes being delayed, let's head to our weather center for a brief weather update. Thanks, Josh. And your Facebook Daily News Weather Center is brought to you by ATG DJs and ATG Radio, Wednesday and Sunday nights from 8 to 10 on Ustream. And iFlypt, the new Apple iPhone application that allows you to become a producer in the palm of your hand with no copyright worries, now available to the public. It's currently 12 degrees in your Twin Cities areas with a low of 0, but no worries, it'll be warming up a little bit. By tomorrow, it'll be 18, just a few degrees below freezing. Just warm enough for you to take a nice jog around Lake Calhoun. Back to you, Josh. Thanks for that, Josh. Let's head down to Texas right now, jumping right back in the news. The Texas inmate who escaped prison. This man faked being paralyzed for 10 years. He actually laid in his own feces to get bed sores so that people would believe that he was paralyzed. And he then escaped. They actually captured him. They caught him, and what he did, he explained his story after they captured him, that he didn't escape to escape. He escaped to prove a point on how crooked and corrupt the prison guards were. And he was a part of this whole interior drug ring and smuggling ring inside prison. And these prison guards thought they were on top of the world. And he was so upset that these guys were doing all these illegal acts and going home. And he was locked up for it, so he decided to prove a point. And that's why he did. And he explained that if he wanted to hurt people when he escaped, he could have. And he could have shot several other people. His mission wasn't to hurt people. He was out to prove a point. And so there may be some prison guards losing their jobs over this. And so he proved his point indeed. And now let's head to political news. President Obama received his Nobel Peace Prize in Oslo, Norway yesterday. And in his speech, he actually said that he understands the irony of a president being commander-in-chief over a military that's involved in 2 wars right now, one in Iraq, one in Afghanistan, and him winning the Nobel Peace Prize. And he said that he understands that he's done a lot less than many other people who've won the Nobel Peace Prize. And I, for one, can appreciate that. Any man who can humble himself and understand that and say that he's not the greatest thing since sliced bread gets points in my book. You know, he also went on to explain that sometimes war is necessary and that a non-violent movement would not have stopped Adolf Hitler in World War II. And Adolf Hitler and the Germans actually occupied Norway for 5 years during World War II. So that's an extremely touchy situation when it comes to the Norwegian people, so they understand completely. And after he accepted his award, he actually hung out on Karl Johans gate in Oslo, which is one of my favorite places to kick it. I actually partied, spent my last night in Oslo partying on the roof of the hotel where they were, and boy do they know how to party out there. Big ups to all my Norwegians out there watching, and also big ups to all my Danish watching, because you know he was in Denmark for the global warming treaty, or the global warming climate seminar, and you haven't partied until you party with the Danish. And that's all we have for today's Facebook Daily Newscast. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your patriot, Josh Harris. Stay tuned. See you guys Monday.